Hello and welcome, friends. I hope everybody's had a great day so far. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're back, welcome back. I greatly appreciate all of the ongoing support. This is my channel, Dragonsjewel, and I'm Tegan, and I'm just going to get all that wonderful YouTubey stuff out of the way first. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please consider doing so. It's just down below. If you like the content that you see, don't forget to give a like. And of course, any love, comment, suggestions, all of those wonderful things, there's that comment section down there as well. Today here, as you can see, I have a dining painting in front of me. We are going to do a good old whip and chat, get us back on a schedule again. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, so I'm hoping now is a good time to kind of get back into this. I'm hoping my voice will hold out. We'll get into everything. We'll catch up. Whip and chat just stands for work in progress, so this is my current work in progress. It is called Magic Potion, and it is a beast. It is a beast, but it is absolutely gorgeous. It's got books and potions and fairies and wonderful, wonderful detailings in it. So many detailings. Right here we have the start of the sleep potion with books in the background. This is one of the fairies. I did a little bit of enhancements, extra enhancements. I took one of the reds and all of her little hearts and turned them into fairy dust. So yeah, absolutely love that. So if there's little things like that that I'm seeing, I of course take that into consideration. So we're going to get working on this little patch here. I'm just going to pull my first color here, and then we'll get chatting here. My last whip and chat that I think I managed to get out and done before I ended up not feeling so great and all of that, and I had to kind of change up what I was doing for the channel because of how I was feeling, was we are going back to the end of February, so we have pretty much all of March to get through, and the end of February here and the beginning of April already, so yeah, we missed out on a lot of time, but that's okay. Like I said, that's quite a while. Lots, not that lots has necessarily happened per se, but it's just been, life has had other plans with me. Come on. My drills don't want to stick, so I think I may have to freshen up my putty here in this one. So let's go back. I think right towards the end of there, we had my little man's surgery. For those of you that don't know much of his story, he had a previous airway surgery that left this really bad bed sore in the back of his head. It ended up creating damage to the back of his head to the point that it completely destroyed all of his hair follicles in a very large spot, leaving him bald. So we've had, I think that's what, surgery, I want to say 3, maybe 4 now surgeries that we've had. I want to say 3, more so than 4, but I do tend to lose track of these after a while. But he's had a few now, and they've gone in, and they've just kind of got rid of the scarring that they've been able to, pulling that skin taut and stretching it to reduce the size of that area, to minimize that bald spot, of course. And so it looks like he's got kind of a full head of hair too, as well as, and then in the end result is hopefully that he'll just have a little scar line. We weren't sure. It stretched a fair amount on the last surgery, so we're not sure if this is the best route or if we need to consider a different option for him. But we went with the less invasive one to start in hopes that it works. So yeah, she's kind of keeping an eye on it this time for stretching to make sure it's not too much and that it's still kind of worth this going along, because we don't want to have so many surgeries that and it not do anything at the same time, especially when there's other options out there. But we also don't want to be too invasive either, because he's just little. So if we can avoid those, that would be great. But he's a trooper. He had that. What was that? The beginning of March, I think, is when he had that. And for 2 weeks, he can't do any swimming. First 3 days, he can't do any kind of baths or getting it wet. They usually do the dissolvable stitches, so we don't have to go back, get stitches removed or anything like that, which is always great. And then, of course, it's watching to make sure he's not bumping the back of his head or wearing hats and that kind of thing where it'll rub that stitching the wrong way, cause it to reopen, that sort of thing. So we kind of try to reduce his activity a little bit too, to kind of keep him a little bit more calm, little things like that. But basically, yeah, he's usually home for about 48 hours after the surgery, just for the anesthetic to kind of wear off, to kind of get through those after surgery pain med kind of schedule too that he usually is on, that kind of thing. By then he's usually kind of bounced back energy wise. He's usually bounced back energy wise, honestly, the day of. But little things like that we just kind of do. So that all went well. It has healed well. He's already went to his follow-up, his, what was that, 3-week follow-up. So he had that already. She said it all looked good. So our next one will be the 6-month follow-up after that. And that'll be where we kind of assess how much stretching we're seeing, that kind of thing. Kind of discuss if maybe there's a better option, or if this is still a good way or good route to go. So yeah, that's how all of that happened and went. Then on Women's Day at our local Fort Edmonton Park, their Indigenous Center had a whole kind of day set up where you could go kind of look at the Indigenous Center exhibit, which is kind of all the history and culture and information on kind of the Indigenous people. And they had a bunch of Indigenous vendors in kind of towards the end of the exhibit that were selling a bunch of kind of beaded jewelry that they made, or home kind of body lotions, bath products, that kind of thing as well. Pretty much any kind of thing that they've made, usually with a little bit of artwork, a little bit of that Indigenous style in it as well. So they had that kind of at the end of the exhibit, and then they had a bunch of workshops that you could sign up to. One was they also did tea ceremony, but some of the workshops they had were like fish scale art, beaded keychains. What were some of the other ones? They had a couple of other ones too. I think they had like 6 in total. I'm sorry, I'm just looking around here because that made me think of something. That's okay. I was just thinking I should have hunted down my BA keychain, because that was the workshop that I attended with my mom and my aunt. And it was a Cree lady who taught the workshop, and she came in with the little kits made up and everything, and we just kind of chose the kit based off the colors that we liked. And then if we didn't like any of the bead colors within the kit, we could kind of swap them out for other colors. So she kind of had a bunch of different colors bagged up that you could choose from if you didn't like one of the colors, or you didn't like the color combination or whatever. So showed us then and walked us through how to create the beaded keychain. Showed us the technique on how to do it, that kind of idea as well. So we created a indigenous beaded keychain, which I had never done before. Surprisingly, it turned out really, really well. I actually shared it over on my Facebook group, so if you haven't joined that, I did show a picture of it over there. I don't know if I showed it on my Instagram. It's been a while since I've been over on my Instagram. I know I need to update it, get it going with some exciting stuff. But I do know I showed it on the Facebook group. So if you want to go join there, that's a great reason, a great little kind of community for the channel. Everybody shares all their diamond paintings over there who's joined up. I'm so far the only one who shared a crafty project, but you are more than welcome to share any other crafty projects that you work on over there as well. I love seeing all sorts of crafts. I do all sorts of different crafts myself, so I do like to try to kind of, you know, pop over my stuff occasionally without kind of spoiling what's coming up on the channel either. And then my Instagram, I usually try to do like my progress photos of the canvases that I'm working on, and then the finished photos of the canvases I've worked on, and any kind of finished project photos over there as well. So if you haven't joined that either, all that, of course, information is linked up in my description, so you can check all of that out. Definitely don't hesitate. But yeah, so we did that. That was a lot of fun. And then the kiddo, of course, had his spring break and was at home driving us nuts, of course, with his boundless energy and troublemaking and pushing his limits and whatever else he could possibly come up with, being a typical kid in that sense. So I was very happy when he went back to school. The support staff strike had, they had the education minister had an order that actually brought them back full time just before the tentative agreement came out for the support staff that they had voted on, which they actually ended up voting on. So that strike ended and they went back just before the spring break, of course. But yeah, now support staff is back, which is great. He's back to his normal schedule at school, which will be huge, huge help. Of course, spring break, he was a little bit of a monster, keeping us busy and on our toes and driving us nuts. Pretty sure that's the cycle of what being a parent is. Especially at his age and stuff like that too. What else? Yes, and then of course, what do I go and do? I somehow managed to catch a lovely case of bronchitis. I had to go to my doctor, and that's what he determined I had. I was actually put on some antibiotics because it was affecting my chest deep down and kind of had the start of a little bit of a chest infection happening at the same time. So I was put on some antibiotics. That was huge. That helped. Although the bronchitis had knocked me out. Took a really good toll on me. There were, I think, 3 nights straight where I got absolutely no sleep, and it was honestly just a vicious cycle of the moment I laid down, I would end up in a non-stop, constant coughing fit that ended up hurting my chest and my stomach, and just my entire body pretty much rebelled. I couldn't get any sleep, so then I would sit up because that would calm down the coughing, but then I was so exhausted I'd be nodding off sitting up. I had even tried propping up with pillows, but couldn't do anything. If I did manage any kind of nodding off and not falling over, or laying down and not having any major coughing fit for a few minutes, I would manage maybe 15-20 minutes tops. So it was pretty brutal those 3 days, because I had 3 days straight of that. And then I was maybe lucky enough that it would calm down during the daytime, and I'd manage to sneak in a little 2-3 hour cat nap at that point. So it was not fun. I didn't enjoy it at all those 3 days. I was pretty much The Walking Dead at that point. My poor husband, I was coughing so bad and so much he couldn't even sleep in the bedroom. So he was sleeping out on the couch for a good couple of days. And even then he said he could hear me hacking and coughing all night. And while he could kind of drown it out a little bit, sleeping out in the living room, he could still hear it on a pretty constant basis. So it wasn't exactly the best sleep for him either. But he at least managed to find some sleep by sleeping out on the couch. Whereas if he had been in the bedroom with me, he would have gotten none. But yeah, and then I had, once that kind of calmed down, I just had it where I would lay down and end up in a coughing fit, and for like a good half hour or so before it would kind of calm down and I could maybe find sleep for a few hours. Then I'd wake up to a coughing fit. Then it was kind of like a little bounce back and forth. So I got a little bit better sleep then, but still not much. Still doing a lot of napping during the day at that point. And just kind of resting and taking it easy. I'm now, I would say, over the worst of it and kind of on the upswing finally. I'm still not 100%. I still, if I laugh or if I do too much activity, I'll end up in a pretty good coughing fit and kind of coughing up stuff and all that kind of thing. So I know I'm not 100%, but I'm at least doing a little bit better. I'm getting sleep again. So that is good. My chest does from time to time get a little sore from the coughing occasionally still. But it's a lot better. It's a lot better. So I mean, I'm still not 100%, but I'm getting there, which is what matters. And now we are kind of towards the beginning of April here. My stepdad did a birthday dinner at BP's, so I'm a little bit tired. We did a birthday dinner at BP's, which was nice. I haven't eaten out at a BP's, Boston Pizzas, in quite some time. And it happened to be pasta Tuesday when we went. So a lot of us had pasta dishes that evening, which was nice. That was a nice little outing. What else? Oh, my hubby got word on going back to work. Unfortunately, it's a shutdown, so it's those stupid, crazy hours. He was originally told 6 days, 12-hour days, which kind of had us going, well, what the heck are the hours? And when would he get home? And we kind of calculated, well, if he started this time, he wouldn't be coming home till after the kid went to bed. So we were kind of a little bit worried about that, but then he phoned and confirmed, and they said it'll be 10-hour days, but they may ask for the occasional 12. So that's definitely a little bit better. It means most days he should be coming home. It'll be a later dinner, but he'll be coming home. He'll still be able to have dinner. He'll still be able to spend about an hour or so with the little man and be here when he goes down for the night. Instead of coming home, the dog's barking because dad's home late, and then waking up the kid, that kind of thing. So that's a little bit better for all of that, but He's going to be working 6 days, 10-hour days, which is still long. With the commute in there, it still works out to a 12-hour day roughly, because it's about an hour drive there and an hour drive back roughly, maybe a little less. But yeah, with traffic too, all that wonderful stuff to take into consideration, it'll be long days for him. I mean, the nice thing about that is the money's always good. But yeah, it is what it is. He's starting that up actually tomorrow, starting on a Saturday, which is very weird. We've talked about this because usually his first day is filling out paperwork, which they can't file until like a Monday. And then he's supposed to get a day off, which normally is a Sunday. So is he going out for 1 day, or does he get another day off during the week? So we're not sure what's happening there. I guess we'll figure that out. I'm just gonna pause and take a sip of my coffee here. If you can read it, it's my 4 moods. I need a coffee, I need a nap, I need a vacation, and then I need duct tape, rope, and a shovel, and of course, adorable little dragon with a coffee. It's my travel mug, and I absolutely love it. I got it for Christmas from the hubby. But yeah, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work. I guess we'll find out as we go. But at least we know he'll be home for late dinner, all that good stuff. Should be home for getting the kid down. So we're a little less worried about all of that now. I mean, he'll probably still bump up on the occasional day, or they'll pull something stupid and they'll want him to work an entire weekend and a bunch of days straight or something. It's supposed to be 2 months. We'll get through it. I'll go completely insane, I'm sure, because I'll be pretty much what I call single parenting it, because I'll be getting up with the kid, getting ready for school, getting him off to school on the days he has school, getting him off the bus, doing all the normal stuff. By that sense, doing all of his appointments, all that kind of thing. Any days off he has that the hubby works, so I'll be driven nuts because he'll be at home driving me nuts all day. Not listening, pushing boundaries, all that good stuff that he's been doing lately. Love him to bits, don't get me wrong, but yeah, he's at a wonderful stage right now. Or at least I'm calling it a stage or a phase, because that's all I'm hoping it is. Which he's getting ready to start that tomorrow. Today, filming this, it's Friday. This video is also going to go out today. It's about, what time is it? 10:40ish or so in the morning. So I should have time to finish chatting, editing and uploading all of this for you guys. I wanted to film it on Thursday, but life had other plans for me. The hubby went and got his hair cut, so I had to wait for him to come back from that, because the dogs would bark and interrupt the filming if I started it, and he came home during it. So I waited until he got home, and then by the time he got home, Ace was restless and looking for trouble, and he wouldn't settle in my office and all that good stuff. So I basically pushed it aside and said I would do it today, but I had set up a doggy play date at the dog park with my parents' Weimenheimer, Axel, which is Ace's best buddy. So we met up there this morning, and he was super excited to see his buddy. They rip-roared all over that dog park. It was a nice mix of not too many people, but a good amount of people and dogs that, you know, both of them were able to run up, socialize, say hi to multiple dogs and people, run around, rip-roar, wrestle with each other, which they like to do. Yeah, so I think we were there about an hour total, and yeah, Ace is now passed out on his dog bed in here, happy and content that he got a much needed outing and exercise in. Because of course I haven't been able to do much with him being sick. And then of course prior to being sick, my back was being a bugger and not letting me do a whole ton of stuff either. So it's been a lot of kind of postponing doing any activities and getting out and doing those activities. I wasn't sure how I was even going to really do on the dog park walk. I did start kind of hacking and coughing pretty good by the end of it because it was a bit too much activity, but any longer and I definitely would have not been able to continue on. But yeah, so we're still getting over things, but he got in at least that little bit of exercise, which should hopefully keep him content at least for today. Maybe the next day or two before he starts driving me crazy again because he's getting bored in the house. But yeah, so that's pretty much been everything that's been going on. Like I said, most of that has just been dealing with life stuff, family stuff, being sick, kind of resting and recouping, and as you can tell, or maybe not, my voice is starting to kind of, so it's still not 100% there, but yeah, I think I'm on the tail end, and the worst of it is definitely over. I'm over being sick. I'm ready for it just to be completely gone, to be honest. I've had enough of this. I'm ready just to be a healthy person. No more coughing, no more hacking things up, you know, all that good stuff. But yeah, so that's everything's caught up. Channel stuff, I'm hoping now that I'm, like I said, kind of on the upswing, I'm getting this whip and chat out. So hopefully I'll get my Ghostly Echoes series going again the following week. I have to, of course, do some filming for that. So I'm hoping I'll get that done either over the weekend or during the week while the little man's at school. I think that's kind of it. I've got to do a bunch of filming of my stash stuff for some unboxings, because there's some I haven't managed to do yet that I've been wanting to do. It's just been timing of things. So I do got to get some of that kind of done in the next bit. So I've got that. Hopefully I'll get some other stuff happening and flowing that I want to for the channel. Otherwise, we're still working towards 500 as that next goal before we can also do a little giveaway. We're getting a little bit closer. I started seeing kind of that numbers climb past that little stall that I had. So hopefully we'll continue on that trend and get there sooner than later. Otherwise, yeah, if you want to see kind of progress pictures, completion pictures, follow me over on Instagram. That's all down in the description. As well as the Facebook group. I'll occasionally post without ruining what's going on the channel. And of course, other people who have joined, we're still just a very, very small group, but other people that have joined also share what they're working on over there. And let me tell you, there have been some absolutely gorgeous canvases. Some I have seen and know the companies they're on sale through in that sense, but haven't seen like them actually completed. I've just kind of seen the rendering and the fact that the company sells it. So it's been really amazing seeing those ones done, and then some I haven't ever seen and have no idea where the people have found the canvases that they have, but they are all absolutely lovely. And you can show low budget canvases on that group, my group. You can show premium quality canvases. I don't care. If you're enjoying your diamond painting and you're loving it and you want to share it, share it. Same goes with other crafting things. I love seeing other crafty projects. So if you do other crafty projects, share those as well. I'm hoping it's kind of like a nice little place to kind of share off what you've worked on, what you've done, all your hard work. And hopefully with at least crafty projects, it'll inspire others and kind of get their creativity flowing, give them ideas on projects that they can work on or that they might want to work on, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of what the group is, and it's kind of just a good community for like-minded people who enjoy diamond painting and crafting. So yeah, we would love for that little group to expand, of course, because once we expand, I'd love to start doing some fun things over there. Start doing maybe some diamond painting events or crafting events, maybe playing little games, maybe doing a little separate little giveaways, just kind of creating a little fun space over there. It's a little different from the channel, but it gives a place for everybody on the channel to kind of interact and socialize, get to know each other better, all that good stuff. So definitely find all that information in the description. Come over and join us. We'd love to have you, love to see you. The more the merrier, as I say. Same thing, if you think somebody's going to enjoy this channel, they enjoy crafty stuff, they enjoy diamond painting, share out that channel, because we want to see that kind of grow as well still. Well, I think that is about it for this whip and chat. There's nothing additional, I don't think. I think I've covered everything that I can think of. So I'm going to leave the chat here and wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Next 2 weeks before we catch up again. And of course, we'll see everybody in the next video with something new. Bye.